What's up, everyone? Welcome to Game Conclave. Thank you so much for watching. This is VBerg, and today we're going to be talking about 8 upcoming PS5 exclusives set to launch in 2025. Now, some of these are going to be hitting PC as well, but on the console end, they are going to be exclusive. So let's start off the list with Marvel's Wolverine. This one is a supposedly upcoming action game by Insomniac Studios, best known for Ratchet & Clank and their Marvel's Spider-Man games. Now, we've only had this teaser trailer to go off of, as, you know, there's not much concrete that we do know about this game, despite the hundreds of AI-generated bogus trailers on YouTube. So, since we didn't have a lot of footage, we're going to splash in some X-Men Origins Wolverine footage, because God, that game was freaking awesome, and it's still oddly one of the best licensed games ever made, I think. So anyway, back on topic. The upcoming Wolverine game will in fact be set in the same continuity as Insomniac's Spider-Man games, and as well as some of the various other Marvel titles. This game is a little bit more up in the air than some of the other games on this list. Insomniac was hacked, and various game materials were leaked, which showed that in addition to playing as Wolverine, we'd also have sequences where we play as Jean Grey, and revealed the entire plot to the game, as well as voice actors and motion cap actors, and even, unfortunately, some of the members of the studio's private information. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to the game itself, the plot. As a lifelong X-Men fan, I happened to see the plot. It was posted on a Reddit forum I frequent, and it was kind of awful. I just kind of imagine whoever wrote most of the story has little to no knowledge of the X-Men. I'm gonna assume that they just like casually one time watched the 2000 X-Men film like in Spanish at their favorite taqueria or something, and they don't actually know any Spanish and just kind of went with the flow of what they thought happened or something similar. So yeah, I don't know. Whoever wrote it didn't really seem to understand the alpha, beta, omega classification for mutants, and I assume they couldn't be bothered to find out what it meant. So yeah, the villain they picked also to be the rival to Wolverine in this one doesn't make much sense. A small spoiler here, it was Mr. Sinister, who typically has a beef with Scott Summers, also known as Cyclops, not Logan, not Wolverine. He's never really been too concerned with Wolverine, but yeah, anyway, as terrible as the hack was for the company, you know, I hope it maybe encouraged them to go back to the drawing board on this one. I don't know if it's going to impress many X-Men fans, but supposedly the game is going to be coming out sometime this year. That's what we've heard. We know Sony doesn't really like to advertise too much until they get pretty close to release date, so I think we just don't know whether or not this one's going to be dropping this year, but last we heard, that was the plan. Alright, Sword of the Sea is an upcoming adventure game developed by Giant Squid, a studio that was founded by Matt Nava, the art director behind Journey, Abzu, and The Pathless. We'll be exploring a world where the terrain flows in waves that we ride on with our sword, which functions like a snowboard, a skateboard, and a hoverboard, all in one, according to the developers. And I don't know, that sounds pretty fun. So yeah, we'll be exploring a necropolis and bringing life back to this dead world. So yeah, it's got a soundtrack composed by Austin Wintory, who's composed for games like the Banner Saga, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and Journey. I think this is going to be one of those super minimalistic titles, much like Journey was. And you know, it's going to be one of those games that'll really leave an impression on the people that play it and vibe with it. It's just one of those very unique style games, I think, and it's going to be coming to the PS5 and PC sometime this year. Lost Soul Aside is an upcoming action RPG developed by Ulti Zero Games. Now, this game began as a solo project with a one-man development studio before Sony took an interest in it, and then a whole studio was created to work on it. Now, the developer has stated that Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden, and Final Fantasy 15 were some of his primary inspirations behind the game, and you can kind of see that for sure, at least the Final Fantasy 15 and the character design, and well, I guess all the action Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden is pretty present too, so yeah. The main character, Kaiser, has a living dragon for a weapon that is named Arena, and it will transform into various different weapons to attack with. And I feel like, based on what I see online, I think this game's hype train has, I don't know, kind of died off a bit. A 9-year development cycle, I think, really took the wind out of its sails. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this one. It's going to be launching literally the day after From Software's Elden Ring Night Rain, which definitely has the potential to overshadow a game like this, but we'll just see what happens when it launches on May 30th for the PS5 and PC. Okay, after being a bit of a Debbie Downer on Lost Soul Aside, let's liven things up with Baby Steps. This hilarious looking adventure game was developed by a trio of developers who worked on Ape Out and Getting Over It. We play as Nate, a dude who's got nothing going on in his life, and then is mysteriously teleported to a misty mountain where he discovers he has the ability to put one foot in front of the other. That's right. And he decides to use this mysterious new power to scale a mountain-sized mountain. And we will be controlling Nate's ability to take steps in this physics-based walking simulator where every step carries the threat of falling, which would cause you to make an idiot of yourself. And I imagine a lot of us are going to do that while we play this game. So yeah, I can't wait to screw up walking. I do it anyways in real life. But now I get the opportunity to do it in a game when it drops on the PS5 and PC sometime later this year. Alright, Days Gone Remastered is an action-adventure survival game developed by Bend Studio, the creators of the Siphon Filter series and Uncharted Golden Abyss. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic Pacific Northwest setting 2 years after a global pandemic has killed most humans and transforms many of the survivors into these feral zombies known as freakers. We will be playing as Deacon St. John. The Deke, he's a biker and a merc. He's searching for his wife, Sarah, who he thought was dead, but throughout the story he finds out clues that she might actually still be alive. So Deacon will have to earn the trust with various settler camps by doing odd jobs and missions for them. This will give him currency to buy new guns and parts for his motorcycle. Your motorcycle has to be maintained with fuel for travel. Forests, mountains, and abandoned towns are just filled to the brim with mutated wildlife and freakers. You can take down your enemies with stealth, guns, or melee, which can all be enhanced by leveling up your various skills in this open world game. The remaster is adding in an optional permadeath mode, speedrun modes, and the horde assault mode where you will try to survive against endless waves of freakers, as well as some graphical enhancements. It's coming to the PS5 and PC as part of the Broken Roads DLC pack on April 25th, and fingers crossed this does well. I'm hoping to see a sequel to this one day. I feel like this title's a bit underrated.
Bring it!
The Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure game developed by Moon Hood, a studio founded by creators from Lost in Random. We're going to be playing as the Burnt One, who befriends a little lost lantern creature named Potboy. It's a lantern creature with a flame that lights their path. The various monsters you encounter in this world will be trying to devour Potboy's flame, so you need to outsmart them and avoid them with Potboy's assistance. And this game's art is just so damn cool. So the developers have said that every single creature and character that you are seeing here in this trailer and we'll see in the game was hand sculpted clay that they then 3D scanned. And holy crap, it's very cool. It's a very Tim Burton-esque aesthetic and really unique looking game. Just looks super cool. It's gonna be hitting the PS5 and PC on May 8th. Ghost of Yotei is the upcoming open-world action-adventure follow-up to Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima, which makes me a little sad. Not that we're getting this, but I'm starting to think that maybe they're done with Infamous. And I don't know, I love that game, so yeah. Anyway. Ghost of Yotei is set in 1603 in the Hokkaido region. We speculated in our upcoming games with realistic graphics video last week that since Hokkaido is pretty far from where all the major historical events of the period transpired, it would probably be a little bit more of a personal story. And since then, story aspects have come out, and the game's release date has even been leaked. So what we know of the story is we'll be playing as Atsu, who adopts the ghost persona, and she'll be seeking vengeance for her family's death and the destruction of their homestead. I think it's safe to say, based on what we've seen from the trailer, it's going to have just as many gorgeous vistas as Tsushima did. Atsu is going to wield dual katanas, Odachi and a Kusari Gama. Now, the rumor is that this one is going to be dropping much earlier than I think anyone was expecting. It's supposedly going to be dropping late July, early August, at least according to the rumors, and that'll be exclusively on the PS5. So we will see in the coming few weeks to maybe next month whether or not that's true, because that would mean Sony's probably going to start spiking up the advertising on this one. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by S-Game, a Chinese studio known for mobile titles. And we're just really seeing a lot of that these days. Mobile devs from all over the globe hopping into much bigger releases on PC and console, and some of them have been just absolutely killer titles, so we'll see if this one follows that trend. But yeah, the story follows Sol, an elite assassin from the Order, and he has been framed for murdering their patriarch. After being fatally injured, he's revived by a mystical healer, but he has only been given 66 days to live. Sol will decide to use that time to seek out the truth behind who killed their leader and who framed him. The game will blend Chinese martial arts and cyberpunk aesthetics with occult elements, and that sounds freaking cool as hell. I love cyberpunk, I love the occult, I love martial arts. This might be made for me, I don't know. The devs have kind of been waffling though on whether or not this is a Souls-like. They've mentioned that there's some Souls elements, they said it's not a Souls-like, they said they want it to be approachable, so, you know, we'll see what exactly that means. You know, I know that can be a divisive genre for folks, so yeah, it'll be coming to the PS5 and PC sometime this year. So are you looking forward to any of these upcoming PS5 exclusives? If so, let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and subscribe for more content. And as always, from all of us here at Game Conclave, thank you so much for watching.